Okay, now that you've finished your quiz, the next few sections we're going to continue to use our calculator for to find different parts of, or different features of graphs. So as you look on the screen, you notice that we have a cubic function, cubic because it's x cubed, and we still want to find the same exact things that we were doing with our quadratic. We want to find our x-intercepts, our y-intercepts, a relative max, a relative min, a domain, and a range. But it says use your calculator, and the directions that you're going to have in the worksheet are going to be use your graphing calculator to complete just the odd problems. So here's an example. You would obviously go to your calculator and turn it on, and you would type the equation in exactly as you see it. So x cubed minus 5x squared plus 4x plus 10. And then from here, we would hit graph. Now, since we're not doing a word problem, we may want to be in our standard window. And notice our standard window goes from -10 to +10, -10 to +10. Now, a cubic, we should remember, looks like a snake, and we can't really see the peak of the snake. So we're actually going to go to our window, and since we can't see the top of it, that would be a y value, we're just going to make our y value a bit higher. So I'm going to actually make it 15. And then I'm going to hit graph again. And so again, I want to see that snake. And so there's my snake. And the first question asks us is how to find the x-intercepts. And if you remember from all the lessons that we've been doing, in order to find the x-intercept, you have to set y equal to 0. So if you're going to find your x-intercept, you have to set y equal to 0. Well, there is no 0 in here, or no y, because we've already done that. We've already set y equal to 0. So what that means on our graph is when we go to second and we go to trace, we're just going to pick the 0 feature, number 2, and we want to find out what is that value, and it kind of looks like -1. Again, I can use my cursors to go to the left, or I could type in a number like -4, push enter. It says pick a number to the right. A number to the right would be my origin, or 0. Push enter, and then you take a guess. And it turns out that yes, my x-intercept happens to be -1, 0. And there's only one place that it crosses the x-axis, so there's only one x-intercept. The next one is our y-intercept, and for our y's, we said that you set x equal to 0. So again, how do you do that? There's two ways. You can just hit trace and type in 0. So you notice how it says x equals 0, but you have to hit trace first. And now we know that our y-intercept is 0, +10. Another way that we could have done that is just look straight at our equation. If you plug in 0 for x, that would be 0 minus 0 plus 0 plus 10, and that's how we got our +10. Our relative min and max, the reason we say relative is because we notice that this snake function, it will go all the way down to -infinity if you keep following it off our graph, and it will go all the way up to +infinity if you follow it up the top of your graph. So a relative max is just this peak that you see right here on top of the hill, and a relative min is just that bottom part that you see here. It's relative because it's not the absolute highest or the absolute lowest. But you find it the same way. You just do second, trace. You go to, if we're finding the max, you obviously go to number 4. And you would go to the left and you push enter. Then you use your cursor, your arrow keys, go to the right, push enter. Your guess should be that peak. And we find out that our relative max, again, relative max, it happens at 0.465, and our maximum value is 10.879. So this is the highest, or the relative max, again, the highest y value. To find the relative min, do the same thing, second, trace, go down to 3, push enter. Now you want to put something to the left of this point, so you may want to use your cursor, push enter, then use your cursor some more, go to the right, push enter, and take a guess, enter, and right there is our minimum value our minimum value is happens at 2.869, and the lowest, or the relative lowest point that it goes to is 3.935. So the relative y value, the lowest that goes, is 3.935. Again, our domain are all of the x values, and since our snake is going to continue to, if you kind of follow this, our snake is going to continue to go towards the right, and our snake is going to continue to go towards the left. And if you hit your, if you hit your trace button over here, and you started tracing on your graph, you would notice that your x values, they just continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and even shifts your graph over. And that will go on forever. Likewise, if you held your cursor down and you watch that x value, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and there's our cursor, and it will keep shifting and keep getting smaller and smaller. So our domain for this is all real numbers. And we can also see that it's going to go from lowest to highest. It's going to go tall, so our range is all real numbers. So what I would like you to do is I'd like you to graph equations on your calculator. Again, this is from section 6.5, and I'll give you a handout of that. And I'd like you just to find these 6 components of just the odd problems using your calculator. Once everyone's finished with the quiz, then we will go over and answer any questions that you may have. Thanks.